Good evening, and welcome to another World of Warships video with Captain Darkwingglacier. This replay was sent to me by Frankenstein2014, who has become a regular on this channel, and he is taking out the newly released Tier 9 Premium American Cruiser, or shall we say large cruiser, the Alaska. He is on the Okinawa map, and there are carriers in this game. There's a Lexington and on either side. And we're going to see how well things go for him. This is a Tier 9 battle. There are no Tier 10 ships. There does appear to be a good amount of Tier 8s. Only one destroyer per side. And this map has a lot of open area, so we'll get a chance to see how well the Alaska does in this kind of map. Now, since like most players, I've been looking forward to getting the Alaska for quite a long time now, and I'm definitely happy to have gotten it. I've only managed to play, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 games in it so far, and where the ship feels comfortable to me, I feel like the ergonomics are good. I just haven't done all that well in it. It's either a combination of maybe I'm just not used to the ship, or bad matchmaking or maps, or I'm just making terrible decisions. For whatever reason, I'm just not doing so well on the ship so far. I don't think I've gotten, I think, more than 1 kill in any of my games. So we'll see how Frankenstein does in this particular game. He spawned on the far left of his battle line, so that's the southeastern part of the map, and it appears that the enemy Lexington is spotting him with rocket planes, and so he's already targeted by 4 enemy ships. So here come the first shells. He is at 1/2 speed right now, so if I was him, I'd be kicking it up to full speed as soon as possible. Here come the enemy rocket planes, and they completely miss. So that might give you an indicator of the skill of the carrier player. Again, that's not necessarily trashing him, because I certainly could not do much better. I'm still definitely learning how to play. I don't even have a Lexington yet. I just have a Ranger at this point. And I've only been playing in co-op, and I'm lucky if I can hit the broadside of a barn even in co-op games. So, fortunately, Frankenstein did not take any hits there, so we'll get to see what he's going to do next. Looks like most of the team is kind of making a lemming train going up to the north, which unfortunately happens a little bit too often. Of course, the red team is doing the opposite. They're forming their own lemming train going down to Cap Charlie. So, wisely in this case, I do think that Frankenstein is heading to the north, because he doesn't want to be caught out alone. The friendly Lightning did capture Bravo, which is a good move on his part. He doesn't have much support, so kudos to him for managing to do that. So currently, due to the range, Frankenstein is just keeping on HE, hoping to set some fires. His shells landed a little short there, but that's alright. Shots out again. Looks like the enemy Richelieu has run aground, or pulled a Notzer, as the terminology of the game has become, and the teammate is calling for him to be targeted, but Frankenstein's not in a position to take him out. And it looks like there's an Iowa dead ahead, so yep, a little bit too late to maneuver out of the way. Hopefully that's not going to cause him too much damage. And here the Cleveland on the enemy team pulls a Notzer. Looks like this is rapidly becoming a common occurrence in this game, everyone running into islands or each other. So maybe we'll get the kill here if he gets on target. And no. The shells were on target, or at least it looked like he got a hit or two, but apparently not. Looks like he bracketed the target, and the Iowa gets the kill instead. So that's not very sporting of his teammate. First he gets in the way, and then he steals a kill. Alright, now Frankenstein is definitely to the back end of the battle line, so he is beginning to turn in to close the range. The lemming train of cruisers is definitely heading north of the islands of A. I don't know what they're afraid of. They really need to kind of get back into position to contribute to this battle. In the meantime, Frankenstein is aiming at the Kronstadt. He does manage to reset Cap Bravo.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Definitely the green team is more focused in terms of all their ships are in the same place, whereas the red team seems a bit more scattered and, I guess, more disorganized. But just because a team is scattered all over the place doesn't mean they're disorganized, because you could actually set up good crossfires that way. So they just look disorganized. We'll leave it at that. That Richelieu is really looking like it just wants to die if someone would just shoot at it. There we go. There we go. 3 hits on that. Another salvo ought to do it if you can get it over the island here. That doesn't look like... Oh, maybe. Okay, looks like some of the shells are going to hit the island regardless. We'll see if you can finish him off. Oh, gets 2 penetrations. Not quite enough. He still has 1,300 health left. So at this point, he is kind of in the middle of the pack at this point. He is still showing a little too much broadside, if you ask me, but considering the target-rich environment, he's not even detected at this point. He's probably going to do fine to reposition. Fire some more shells. Come on, one of them has to land. One shell has to land, and he'll finish this guy off. But, of course, the friendly Otago finally gets around to shooting him, and he gets the kill first. But that's all right. So we've got 25,000 damage. So we're still, haven't contributed all that much, except, just adding to the general destruction at this point. The team is up 2 ships to nothing, so that's definitely good. And considering this, okay, now at this point, the team being very split up, the red team that is, could work to their disadvantage because they're going to come at the green team piecemeal, and we'll get focused down one by one, or at least that's what I'm predicting is going to happen. Because the enemy Baltimore, the Musashi, they're like way out of position to the south west. They can get flanking shots on some of the members of the team, but there's not enough ships there to really concentrate on like the friendly Otago and the Monarch and so on to do a significant amount of damage. If they had maybe 2 more ships there, then they might have a decent crossfire setup. But as of now, they don't. Now the lemming train for the green team is now finally moving south, but they're starting to get in position behind the islands in Bravo. So it's, I don't know what kind of standoff we're going to run into here with both teams just hiding on either side of the islands. Reminds me a little bit of either the North or Northern Lights maps, where the 2 teams end up in their spawn points and neither team wants to advance past it. It seems like we're kind of in a situation like that right now. So Frankenstein does take some hits there. He gets set on fire. He's trying to line up a shot, and he gets a Citadel there, which is good. And he is trying to line up a shot on the Gneisenau, who is reversing. So if he was going forward, that would have been better. But there's a Neptune, and the Neptune is foolishly sitting in one place. He is not moving at all, and this is going to hurt. 5 Citadels. That's the paddling, as Jingles would say. Now, the thing about Royal Navy cruisers is that if you do end up sitting in one place, that's okay if you're in smoke. It's still dangerous, though. You have to have your situational awareness on high alert in that kind of situation, looking for anybody shooting at you. You certainly do not want to be caught reversing, because you do not accelerate fast from that position. However, if you do detect that someone's shooting at you and you are stopped, you might just be able to accelerate out of the way in time. But apparently that guy was not paying enough attention, and I see a lovely shot here on the port bow for Frankenstein there at the Gneisenau, but a little bit too late. The angle kind of changed a little bit too much there. In any event, if you're in a Royal Navy cruiser, you need to get ready to hit the gas at a split second's notice. And that guy was, I don't know, maybe he thought he was just far enough away that no one was going to notice him. Or maybe he was in smoke and didn't realize that the smoke was over. In any case, he paid for it with his life. So here we go, lining up in a shot of the Gneisenau now. This looks good. This salvo could potentially do it. With the 12-inch guns at 6.4 kilometer range, not quite, almost. 6 penetrating hits, 1 overpen. Maybe one more penetrating hit would have done it there, but not quite enough. In the meantime, we've lost 4 friendly ships, and the enemy has lost 5, so things are not as good as they once were at the beginning of the game, but we still have an advantage. I'm just saying it's not like I'm on this team. I'm just being the commentator here, and I guess I'm going to root for the Greens wherever possible. And the rocket planes, I'm not sure who they were shooting at. Maybe they were shooting at Frankenstein there, but they didn't do anything. Looks like some of the team has now finally moved south of the island. The Edinburgh on the western flank is heading south, and I think he's a little overextended. Hopefully he's not detected, because if he gets detected, he's going to get blapped pretty fast. The Iowa and the Izumo are moving south, and I'm assuming that Frankenstein's going to join them, because he's in a position to provide them with some good fire support. He's lining up on the John Bart. If the 3 of them concentrate on him, they'll be able to take him down pretty fast. The Iowa is relatively low on health. I don't think he's going to last much longer. So if they can take out this Jean Bart before we lose the Iowa, then oh, did we just lose him? Yep, we lost him. Jean Bart took him out. So he's showing enough broadside that the Izumo and this salvo right here from Frankenstein might be able to finish him off, and that would be a definite positive. 5 penetrating hits, only 4,000 damage. That's not that much. So anyway, he's on fire. He's at 2,300 health. He's taking fire from 3 different ships. I don't think he's going to survive this salvo if it even lands before he dies. And that's what causes his death. That's kill number 2. So Frankenstein has now exceeded 100,000 damage. There is an enemy Cleveland. The advantage is definitely in the friendly side, 560 points to 480. This Cleveland is probably not going to survive much longer. This salvo right here may take him out. Not quite, but he's definitely on his last legs. Torpedoes are launched at the Izumo, and he also has Frankenstein has a enemy Iowa on his port bow. So he needs to start paying attention to that and not ignoring it. Start angling. Either he hasn't noticed or he's not necessarily concerned yet. He just definitely wants to kill this Cleveland, so maybe he's suffering a little bit of tunnel vision. And now he's turning away. That's not okay. Very lucky there. The Alaska does have a very low citadel, and as long as you... One of the most dangerous things you can do that I've learned is turn into the target, because as the ship heels over, it exposes, or it can expose, the citadel. So you just have to do it judiciously between broadsides from the enemy. So now that he's bow on, he's kind of back in a safe zone, and the Iowa is apparently going to run away and not take this fight to the Alaska, which I'm not sure that's the wisest decision. Maybe he's afraid of the Izumo as well. And there's also some torpedo planes coming in, so this Iowa is definitely decided that he wants to be somewhere else. He does have a, definite hit point advantage. He still has, 38,000, 37,000, and he started out with much more than that. He had something like 50,000 hit points when he first attacked, and now he's rapidly losing health due to those fires. He's got torpedoes on his stern, and but he's being chased by an Alaska with 24,000 damage remaining. So at this point, especially at the range they are at 2.6 kilometers apart, the advantage in firepower, I would say, has to go to Frankenstein, because he does have, twice as many guns, even though they're only 12 inches compared to the 16-inch guns of the Iowa. And now that the Iowa has used his repair party, he is rapidly gaining health back. He's over 40,000 damage again, and Frankenstein's only down at 20,000. So the Iowa is now beginning to turn. He's trying to get all of his turrets, and this might be decisive if he can do it in time. Frankenstein is attempting to chip away, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Here comes the salvo. Most of it misses. Most of it misses along the starboard side. And even if he did connect, I think a lot of those were going to bounce off the belt. But still, he does get a Citadel now, so it's... Whoa! That Iowa's health just went down way fast. I think the secondaries had started him on fire. And now... Oh! That was quick. So he does manage to take out the Iowa, taking down his health very rapidly in those last few salvos. And unfortunately, he is then killed by the enemy Musashi with a long-range shot. But I think the damage was mostly done. Oh, it's not looking so good right now because we have 2 friendly ships to the 3 enemy, but 175k damage. And what happens for the remainder here is that I'm not going to show you the rest of it because it goes on for several minutes, but fortunately the friendly carrier is able to take out the remaining ships, or at least survive long enough that the battle timer does run out and Frankenstein's team comes away with the win. So kudos to Frankenstein, and thank you very much for giving me that replay, and thank you very much for watching.